G'day guys, Dean here from Blog for the Blood God, and tomorrow I'm going to be filming a video battle report with the lads from Risky Rollers. If you haven't heard of them before, check out their YouTube channel and their Instagram, they do some amazing work. And the Risky Rollers lads are also hosting a grand tournament next weekend that I'm going to be attending as well. So we've got a battle report coming up and a GT. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the list that I'm looking at potentially running at that grand tournament and I'm going to run it in the battle report to test it out and also showcase a few elements of what works and what doesn't work and how the list sort of functions in-game. Now I've told myself at the offset that I'm doing World Eaters regardless. So while this list might function better as different legions, I'm basically trying to take what I think is potentially the best variant of a World Eaters list and see what I can sort of generate in those lists and what combos I can sort of come up with. So there's a few intentional suboptimal choices made in this list. So don't look at this review as a hyper competitively focused list review. Just look at it like if you're a passionate World Eaters fan like myself, this is some of the stuff that we can do. And it's also a little bit of a showcase of the army because I've recently repainted a number of these models and I'm quite proud of how they've turned out. So without further ado, let's get into the list review and showcase for my World Eaters army for the upcoming battle report and grand tournament. Alrighty, here is the list in all of its magnificent blood-soaked gore. We have a Supreme Command detachment with Abaddon the Despoiler, the man himself, the big dog, leading the front, leading that charge. Then we support that with a World Eaters battalion. We have a Demon Prince of Khorne with the Violent Urgency Warlord trait. Now the idea here is it's going to combine with Abaddon's +1 to provide a +2 charge aura to all units nearby. And all of the units in this list are going to very much enjoy having +2 to their charge rolls. Then in our second HQ slot, we have the Lord Discordant, and he has Zal the Wrathful as his relic. Now this means that he's going to be going in there against vehicles with 3+ D3 damage, and against everything else, he'll be 2+ D3 on his big chain glaive, which makes him a fierce combatant. Then in our troop slots, we have 4 units of 5 Khorne Berserkers with an icon in each unit. This MSU style, I think, lends really well into the World Eaters because those units punch way above their weight. They can regularly take down things like an Armiger, a Dreadnought, or various other tough, hard-to-kill units. Then in our fast attack slot, we have a single unit of 5 Warp Talons. Now, ideally, I would have liked to have made this unit a little bit bigger, but I was struggling to figure out where I would drop points from in order to do this. Realistically, if you were doing a competitive build, you would probably cut back on the Red Butchers, but I really want to showcase the raw power of that unit. So in that situation, I'm left with only the 5-man Warp Talons. And Warp Talons are really good in a World Eaters list because they can use the Apoplectic Frenzy rule stratagem to get a pre-game move of 9 inches. Then turn 1, they can use their 12-inch move characteristic to be essentially 21 inches up the board and then charging things. So whilst it's only a small unit of 5, this is a really reliable way of going in, shredding a small unit of something, and then having a problem unit in your opponent's backfield that they have to deal with. All right, next up in the Elites slot, we have 10 Red Butchers. Now this unit I've kitted out to the teeth. So we've got 4 Combi Flamers, 2 Heavy Flamers, 2 Chain Fists, and 2 of the Red Butchers have dual Accursed Weapon. We've used 1 CP to give the Black Mace to the Sergeant. Now most people are running the Black Rune of Damnation on their Red Butchers or on their Chaos Terminators in general, which is the far superior choice if you're going for a competitive, rounded build, but I really want to showcase the power and the damage output of this unit. So that's why I've gone with the Black Mace, because that 1 Sergeant goes in with 10 attacks that are Strength 8, AP 3, 3 damage, and the damage spills over. So that Sergeant alone, just that champion, can absolutely fucking shred units and destroy vehicles. And basically the rest of the unit is just there as ablative wounds and protection for him. So he's a very expensive unit. It's a very expensive CP-wise, but I think it's going to be absolutely devastating on the tabletop. Then to round it out, we have a Rhino transport for 2 of those units of 5 Berserkers, and a Land Raider for the other 2 units of 5. Now the Land Raider is an interesting choice. I've taken it because it's something that's able to contribute from long range, which is something that World Eaters lack, but it also doubles as a way of launching your berserkers forward. So you've got that combination unit that's able to support from backfield whilst launching things downrange, and it's also a very, very tough unit. So the idea here is you're going to have the Land Raider and the Rhino on the table, the Terminator's Red Butchers in Deep Strike, your characters protected behind the Land Raider, which is a very tough, toughness 9, armor of contempt, 2-up save, just chonky motherfucker. And you're going to present your opponent with no real easy targets on those first turns, whilst simultaneously on your first turn, those Warp Talons are going to go in and get an easy kill, and then that Land Raider is hopefully going to get a kill as well off a smaller vehicle of some sort, and you're going to be playing for grind them down. And then it's going to be a trading game where I'm going to go, okay, turn 2, I'm just going to hit you with the Terminators, they're going to kill 2 or 3 units, and then even if you do kill the Terminators, well, that's 3 kills for me, 1 for you, so we're trading up. And basically then you're going to send in the characters, and each character is going to go in and kill a bunch of stuff. So it's basically, the list is designed around grind them down. It's also designed around engage on all fronts, because you've got the MSU units of berserkers that are able to just jump out into various quarters if they want. You've got the Raptors that are able to go up turn 1, then the Terminators can drop in turn 2, and you're basically going to be trying to play for multiple quarters at any given time. And then the third one will be probably Assassinate, Bring It Down, or the World Eater specific one if you're feeling particularly spicy. So if you're versing somebody who has characters that they need to use, you know that they need to wield those characters aggressively in order for their army to work, then you'll be taking that, and then you'll be trying to assassinate that character. And my Demon Prince will be my dedicated assassin, because he's fast, he hits hard, and he goes in with multiple 3 damage attacks that are going to be hitting at strength 8, so he's going to absolutely shred any characters that he comes across. Yeah, so that pretty much summarizes the list. Do your objective markers ever get lost behind terrain or other models and become difficult to see? Do they ever get bumped and accidentally moved during a game? And do they ever spark arguments about distances? Well, not anymore. Introducing the blog for the Blood God, not even remotely patented Neoprene objective markers. Made from the same material as astronaut suits, or maybe military equipment, or probably neither of those things, this 2mm thick neoprene synthetic rubber is tear resistant, water resistant, and is designed to last. But that's not all. The blog for the Blood God, not even remotely patented neoprene objective markers come in a variety of different designs and styles to suit any faction represented in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. These objective markers are a perfect gift for yourself or a friend, and are a perfect way to flex and show your opponent that not only are you a smarter, cooler, and better 40k player than them, but you also have more disposable income than they do. For the low price of $25, you'll get not 1, not 2, but 6 neoprene objective markers, perfectly designed for 9th edition Warhammer 40k. But wait, there's more. For a limited time only, people who sign up on Patreon to support Blog for the Blood God as a Skull Champion tier $5 per month member will gain access to a custom design service where I will design a unique logo to support their gaming club, like the one I did to the left here for the Potato Farmers local gaming club here in Melbourne. Follow the links in the description of this video to pick up your set today.